I know
6
that.
o'clock on the nose.
So I would like to call to order the May 5th, 2025 Lancaster City Council Finance Committee. That's on. The first item we have is temporary resolution 46-25, a resolution to approve Lancaster fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan and Statement of Objectives, and to authorize the mayor to submit the same to U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, coming from the Economic Development Committee. Councilman Hoop.
Yes, thank you. This is just an annual piece to approve the 2025 CDBG funding and to get permission to submit our annual action plan for these funds to HUD. It's an annual piece, so it's pretty straightforward. The total amount that we're estimated to receive is $488,022. And Chaslin is sick today, so if there's any questions,
You're going to answer.
I'll try.
Chaslin left you all alone?
Yeah. No, we talked this morning, so
Okay.
we're good.
Questions of council? Okay. You're waving like you want to talk.
Doesn't look like it's anything different than we've done in the past, so.
No.
Okay.
Nope. So, correct, I know there was an email, is Mrs. Kreitz my second, or is Corey?
Scheduler.
Corey, okay, so Corey is my second, 3 readings.
Okay, thank you very much. Next item is temporary resolution 47-25, a resolution to increase receipts and appropriate from the unencumbered balance and amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor and the Timber Top TIF Fund 3060, coming from the Finance Committee. And I'm going to let Auditor Nettles explain this.
First off, thank you for passing the last one that appropriated the carryover cash. But as always saying, I'm a day late, dollar short. After I did that, that was passed, then I got into a conversation with the attorneys that handled the TIF for Kurt Eckler and found out that this is the beginning of the second year of this TIF, that the TIF was calculated incorrectly last year and this year. I'm sorry. That was done incorrectly last year and starting out this year, so we had to work on that and finding out that now we're getting more revenue in, plus correcting last year's missed revenue, which means there's more money coming in from the TIF, so I have to amend the revenue budget and expense budget to allow that.
Any questions? I understand you're requesting 2 readings.
I'm respectfully asking for 2 readings because the developers have their bond payment June 1st. So if I put this money into the trust account so they can make the bond payment, it would be in the red at the end of the month if I didn't get this taken care of.
Okay, thank you. And we will have 2 readings unless there's objections. And we need to change, Councilman Solly will be absent today, and who would like to second that?
Finance Committee, please. Councilmember Ailes. You want to?
That's right, first reading. But do we have to change it all the way through, or can we leave him as a second?
Well, he's not gonna be.
He'll be here next.
Yeah, if he's not here, then somebody else will have to second all of the legislation that he was listed
All the
as
way
the
through?
second on.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I need a second. Ailes, thank you, Councilman.
Unless Corey wants to do it, Corey.
Thank you. All righty, that's it for the resolutions. Ordinances, we have 1, temporary ordinance 25-25, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to acquire the permanent and temporary right-of-way necessary for the East 6th Avenue Bridge over Feathers Run replacement project. That's coming from Public Works, and Councilman Keener, please.
I'm gonna have Kurt come up and explain it, and anybody has any questions.
Good evening. This is the 6th Avenue Bridge replacement. This is the third, I guess, time we've got legislation on this. The first time was to go after the grant. We got the grant. The second time was to go forward with the project. Because we need right-of-way, not a lot of right-of-way, but we do need room to replace that bridge, to replace those abutments. We're coming again to get authorization to acquire that right-of-way. Some of it's temporary easements, just to get in there and get the equipment. A little bit of it is permanent right-of-way. I think probably from all four of the properties there that abut that bridge. So we're asking for 3 readings. Any questions?
Is this the bridge right opposite Kroger's there? That bridge at that corner between Cherry and Sixth?
No, it's a little bit further west.
Further
I
west?
think is it Medill there or Franklin, one of those streets
Okay.
that come in.
So
right-
what's the time frame for the project to occur?
That's going to be replaced next summer.
Next summer? Okay,
Yeah,
I just
it'll
want to
go
make
up.
sure it wasn't happening when Main Street was having all its work. Because that would be 2 east-west thoroughfares tied up, which would be a mess.
No, this is 26.
Okay.
6th Avenue will be closed. 27, we'll be doing the sidewalks on East Main Street. 28, we'll be paving East Main Street. So we
Sounds good.
tried to get those to match up.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Kurt, this is the bridge they had done a bunch of work to previously?
Yeah, when we were paving 6th,
Yeah.
we milled the asphalt off and didn't like what we saw. The bridge deck was rotten. We were able to go out and rate it and keep it open, but we didn't have the funding at the time to replace the bridge, and it was too far gone to put any money into it. So we put the asphalt back down. Now we got to come in, went out and got a municipal bridge grant. I think it's an 80-20. Don't quote me on that. But got the grant to go ahead and replace the bridge.
I thought all we did was replace that bridge was closed for a while.
Well, it was closed the year before that for a combined sewer overflow all summer.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was, yeah.
All right, and then you discovered the bigger problem when you went and did the paving project.
When we were doing the paving
Gotcha.
project the
Now it
following
makes
year.
sense.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you were
Yes.
talking about the other bridge, because
Yeah, well,
we just did all
yeah.
that work on that bridge.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because we get that, yeah. No, we're not replacing it again.
I'm sitting there scratching. Well, I wondered, well, what did we do the first time, right? So, I'm with you. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
And
Dumb
Mr.
question. Wait a
Luchtenberg will
minute.
be.
How much is the bridge? How much is the replacement? I don't think we ever talked about the dollars.
I don't know if I have that in front of me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd hate to say. 2 million?
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Keener had a question.
No,
I wasn't talking to you.
No, I just said, I thought they were done, so.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Luchtenberg, and then 3 readings.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Moving on to departmental updates. Do we have any this evening? Yes?
Thank you, Chairman Wolfinger. I just wanted to let you know, the administration, we have been currently meeting with and interviewing health insurance brokers. We've been with our current broker since 2020, and so we thought that 5 years later, it's probably a good time for us to just shop around and make certain that we are getting good rates and that we're getting the most for what we're paying. So we have been meeting with 3 different brokers, and we're continuing those meetings over the next few weeks. If we would decide to change brokers, then we would be bringing forth legislation to City Council to enter into a new agreement with a new broker, if that would come up. So I just wanted to make you aware, just in case.
Thank you. Any questions of that? Okay, thank you. Further departmental updates? Okay, I see none. Tonight's meeting, President Porter, excuse me.
Thank you, Chairman Wolfinger. Tonight, we have 11 resolutions on the regular agenda, 2 ordinances. We also have 2 public hearings, one on the NCA and one on a blue label property rezoning. So, and
Okay,
that's all.
thank you. Other items for Finance Committee? Okay, I do have one item to discuss. Tonight, temporary resolution 3625 coming from the Finance Committee is up for third reading. I initially made the motion to introduce the legislation. I will not be able to make a motion to pass as I will be voting no. We will need to make the motion to pass. Someone else will need to do that, and I believe Corey has volunteered to make the motion. My position City Council through the Finance Committee passed permanent resolution number 49-14 on March 10th, 2014. This resolution transferred 100% of the annual payment received from the prepaid national gas purchase and sales agreement and shall be given to the City of Lancaster, 100% of that. The Port Authority to further economic development efforts benefiting the City of Lancaster. This is an economic development issue, and I believe, correct me, you might be the only one in the room besides me that was around in 2014. Is that, you were on council?
Oh, yeah.
I don't bet if you were too. So anyway, that has to do with the prepay. There was a lot of money flowing back and forth. And at one point in time, the city had roughly $150,000 from the prepaid money to cover economic development type of expenses, such as the Lancaster SID, the 33 Growth Alliance, and things of that nature. At the time, we were looking to make the Economic Development Department full-time. It didn't happen until a few years later, and they needed to build a budget. The vast majority of the money was being distributed to the City of Lancaster Gas Department, and a little bit of it, as I mentioned, referenced up above. And when that was all passed, signed, sealed, and delivered, the city received nothing on that. I personally feel that since I was back there then, I understand the whole process. I'm not condemning the survey at all. I would suggest that's a good idea, but in all clear conscience, I don't feel that I can make a recommendation to motion and or to vote for that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any. Good. Thank you.
Mr. Wolfinger, I don't have a question, but I have a comment.
Okay.
So this is a housing study I think we're in need of. We have questions about single-family homes, apartments, et cetera. What kind of housing stock do we need for this community to thrive going forward? The ask here is actually $5,000, even though the legislation says $10,000. Stephanie Bosco has been able to have other people contribute to this overall, and I forget the total dollar amount. Stephanie? $73,000. So the city's ask is $5,000 at this point. I cannot disagree with anything Mr. Wolfinger said. I think it's an accurate reflection of what happened in the past. But I'm asking you to support $5,000 for this study so we can have this study and have something to operate on going forward. So we as a group in our community knows where we're at today and where we might need to go in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Good. Moving on, I see no need for executive session. A motion to adjourn would be appropriate.
So moved.
Councilman Ailes?
Second.
Councilman Schoonover, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, and it is
6:15.
6:15. Very good.
It's a new record. The regular meeting of Lancaster City Council will commence promptly at 6:30.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and full history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Travis Markwood from the Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce. Our focus is support, grow, build community, and add value as we educate and advocate local business organizations. This month, we are really excited to be chosen as the recipient of the Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye will make a generous donation to us with every vehicle they sell this month. From all of us at the Lancaster Fairfield County Chamber of Commerce, we say thank you, Buckeye.
I call the May 5th, 2025 Lancaster City Council meeting to order. Please rise if you're able and join me in a moment of prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and finally, the wisdom to know the difference. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you please call?
Mr. Ailes.
Here.
Mr. Bizjak.
Here.
Mrs. Kreis.
Here.
Mrs. Hoop.
Here.
Mr. Luchtenberg.
Here?
Mr. Schoonover.
Here.
Ms. Teener.
Here.
Mr. Wing.
Here.
And Mr. Wolfinger.
Here.
Let the record reflect that 9 members of Lancaster City Council are here this evening and present.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Solly.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to excuse Councilmember Solly from tonight's meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We will now move on to the reading and disposing of the journal.
Regular meeting minutes dated April 21st, 2025.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the journal.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the journal. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We'll now move on to the reports of city officials.
Email dated April 23rd, 2025 regarding 2024 state audit submitted by Auditor Patricia Nettles. Email dated May 1st, 2025 regarding May 8th Planning Commission agenda submitted by City Planner, Community Development Director Chaslin Carter. Email dated May 2nd, 2025, annexation for one parcel submitted by the Law Director Stephanie Hall. Email dated May 2nd, 2025, Cloud Analytics Report Training submitted by Auditor Patricia Nettles. And finally, email dated May 5th, 2025, additional information on legislation for timber top TIF submitted by our Auditor Patricia Nettles.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the reports of city officials.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of city officials. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Now move on to communications.
Email dated May 2nd, 2025, regarding annexation for one parcel submitted by Christopher Tumlin, Vice President of Residential Development. Mail dated May 5th, regarding application to adjust distribution rates with the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio, submitted by the Ohio Power Company, AEP.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the communications.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the communications. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Special presentation and awards,
We have none this evening.
petitions and memorials.
There are no petitions or memorials this evening.
Thank you. We have now reached the time in our agenda for permission of voters and taxpayers to address council. Do we have any individuals present this evening that would like to address council? Seeing none, we thank you for coming and attending this evening's meeting. We now move on to the reports of standing committees.
I have 4 Finance Committee meeting minutes dated April 22nd, 2025, submitted by Mr. Wolfinger. Economic Development Committee meeting agenda dated April 23rd, 2025, submitted by Mrs. Hoop. Economic Development Committee meeting minutes dated May 2nd, 2025, submitted by Mrs. Hoop. Finance agenda dated May 2nd, 2025, submitted by Mr. Wolfinger.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the reports of standing committees.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of standing committees. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Reports of special committees.
There are no reports.
We've reached the time in our meeting agenda for public hearing. We do have 2 public hearings this evening, one on a new community authority and another for Blue Label Packaging property. We will begin with the public hearing on the new community authority. Procedures associated with the public hearing is such that proponents must come up and speak first, have 3 minutes to state their position in council, and then any opponents to the new community authority may come forward and speak for 3 minutes. There is a time for rebuttal, but you have to have spoken during the first round in favor of the new community authority. So I would begin by opening this public hearing and asking, are there any individuals here to speak in favor of the new community authority? Thank you. Law Director Hall.
Good evening. Just wanted to go over the basics for everybody again, just in case there's any questions or concerns. So the new community authority is a component of the new residential developments that we're looking at doing here in Lancaster, single-family home development. And it's kind of confusing because the new community authority is based on a property that the city owns inside the city limits. That property is 12 acres out in the River Valley High. It's actually designated for a park at this time. It has not been developed as such yet. But the goal is to just name a property that's in the city that the city owns in order to allow us to use this economic development tool. And the benefit to the city is mainly that the city can charge what's called a community development charge. And that community development charge will help pay for the new infrastructure that needs to be put in order to bring those residential homes to the city of Lancaster. The new community authority is actually going to be a separate political subdivision. You, as city council, are the organizational board. And so you'll have a part in appointing folks to just like the mayor will do as well. I believe one of you actually can be appointed to sit on the board. But regardless, it's a separate political subdivision that will look out for the interests of the developments that are coming. And it's such that if at any point in time, the money has stopped coming in or the structure is not working, essentially, the new community authority can go away. That's not an issue. Once it's accomplished what it's supposed to accomplish in terms of funding, it can go away, it can continue. It's kind of up to the board of the actual NCA at that point. But again, you have some control over that, as does the mayor. And the goal is obviously, not to have the city have to outlay all of the funds that we would otherwise have to put out in terms of ground and sidewalks and fire hydrants and all that good stuff that are pretty expensive.
So if I could ask a question?
Sure.
The 12 acres is largely a placeholder property, is that correct? Just
That's
to
correct.
get this set up?
Yep.
Okay.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. Anybody else? Great.
Thank you. Are there any further individuals here to speak in favor of the new community authority? Seeing none, I would now ask, are there any opponents here to speak against the new community authority? Seeing none, we will now close the public hearing on the new community authority. We'll now open the public hearing on the blue label packaging. Is it a rezoning? It's a rezoning, correct?
Establishing zoning.
Okay, establishing zoning for the blue label property. I would now ask if there are any individuals here to speak in favor of this zoning. Law Director Hall.
Thank you. So we put the piece that is supposed to approve the establishment of zoning for this newly annexed property on the table last week because we neglected to have a public hearing at City Council, which we were required to do. So that's why it got pushed, but I just wanted to make sure everybody understands that this property abuts the property that Blue Label already owns and is already established as being zoned in an advanced manufacturing district. So this is just that triangle at the point between 22 and 37 that will be zoned advanced manufacturing as well. That's the goal. And we did a pre-annexation agreement, if you all remember, with the developer. And we advised that we would support their petition and their request for that advanced manufacturing zoning. So that's what I'm here to do. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. In relation to the legislation that is currently on the table,
Mhm.
would that come off at the next meeting?
No, it can come off at this meeting. Yep,
Okay.
since the public hearing is being held now before the legislation will be read.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any further individuals here in favor of the zoning adoption for Blue Label property? Hearing none, we will now move on. Are there any opponents to, here to speak in opposition to the Blue Label zoning? Seeing none, we will close this public hearing. We will now move on to the reading of resolutions, beginning with the third reading of temporary resolution 3325.
A resolution to amend permanent resolution 70-22, authorizing the Service Safety Director to enter into an engineering agreement for the various construction administration and inspection services during the North Water Treatment Plant Replacement Project, and to increase estimated receipts appropriate from the unencumbered balance and amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor in the Water Utility Reserve Fund 6027. This is through Water and Water Pollution Committee, Mr. Wing and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Wing.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution number 33-25.
Second.
We have a motion and second to pass, gross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 3325. Any discussion, Councilmember Wing?
Yes, we've actually had a lot of discussion on this piece. I won't belabor all of it, but I just wanted to thank the superintendents who made themselves available to answer our questions, and I can't wait for this plant to be in operation later this year.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 33-25 passes 9-0. Temporary resolution 34-25.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into an agreement for engineering services on the Frederick Street Sewer Separation Project. This is through Water Pollution Committee. This is through Mr. Wing and Ms. Teener.
Councilmember Wing.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution number 34-25.
Second?
We have a motion and second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 3425. Discussion, Councilmember Wing.
Yes, this is another EPA-mandated sewer separation project. This one on Frederick Street, and not to exceed $700,000.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes? Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 3425 passes 9-0. Temporary resolution 3525.
A resolution authorizing the Service Safety Director to dispense with competitive bidding and enter into a contract with Rosenbauer South Dakota LLC for the purchase of a 2026 Rosenbauer Commander pumper truck for the use by the Lancaster Fire Department to appropriate funds and to declare an emergency. This is through Safety Committee, Mr. Bizchak and Mr. Sully.
Who can be your second?
Mr. Wing?
Mr. Wing?
Mr. Wing.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Councilmember Bizchak.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that
Okay.
council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 35-25.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 35-25. Discussion, Councilmember Bizchak.
Thank you, Mr. President. This will allocate roughly $1.1 million coming from the Safety Impact Fee Fund for the purchase of a new Rosenbauer pumper truck that the fire department needs.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you, Mr.
Very
President.
much. Appreciate that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 35-25 passes 9-0. Temporary Resolution 3625.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance, amend the certificate of appropriations with the county auditor in the general fund 1001 to reimburse the Lancaster Port Authority for paying its proportional share for the Fairfield County Housing Study. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 3625.
Second.
We have a motion second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 3625. Any further discussion? Councilmember Schoonover.
This is just us authorizing to pay our portion of the county, or housing study for the county.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
No.
Temporary Resolution 3625 passes 8-1. We'll now move on to the second reading of resolutions, beginning with Temporary Resolution 3825.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into an agreement for engineering services associated with the flow monitoring to be conducted with the River Valley Highlands Subdivision Sanitary Sewer System. The Water Pollution Committee, Mr. Wing and Ms. Teener.
Councilmember Wing.
Yes, Mr. President, this will be the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on Temporary Resolution 3825. Temporary Resolution 3925.
A resolution to increase receipts, appropriate funds from the Wastewater Reserve Fund 6029, amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor, and authorize payments of bills with then and now certificates for the Ohio Water Development Loan for the Solids Handling Facility Upgrade Project. This is through Water Pollution Committee, Mr. Wing and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Wing.
This is also the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on Temporary Resolution 3925. Temporary Resolution 40-25.
A resolution to increase receipts, appropriate funds in the Stormwater Utility Reserve 6019, amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor, and authorize payment of bills with then and now certificates for the Ohio Water Development Loan for the East Main Street Sewer Separation Project. This again is through Water Pollution Committee, Mr. Wing and Ms. Teener.
Councilmember Wing.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on Temporary Resolution 40-25. Temporary Resolution 41-25.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to dispense with competitive bidding due to a sole source provider for membrane replacement for the Upper Hocking Water Pollution Control Facility. Again, this is through Water Pollution Committee, Mr. Wing and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Wing.
This is also the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on Temporary Resolution 41-25. Temporary Resolution 42-25.
A resolution to authorize the City of Lancaster to apply for funding from the Ohio Department of Development for CHIP program funds. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, this is second of three readings.
Second of three readings on Temporary Resolution 42-25. Temporary Resolution 43-25.
A resolution to amend the certificate of appropriations with the county auditor, appropriate from the unencumbered balance, increase receipts, complete a fund transfer in the CDBG Loan Repayment Revolving Account Fund 2075 in the Community Development Block Grant Fund 2073 and declare an emergency. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Hoop.
And yes, this is first of three readings.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second of three
Sorry.
readings. Thank you. On Temporary Resolution 4325. Temporary Resolution 4525.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance in the general fund 1001, increase receipts, appropriate from the unencumbered balance in the health insurance management fund 7022. and amend the certificates of appropriations with the county auditor. This is through Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Luchtenberg and Mr. Bizjak.
Councilmember Luchtenberg.
Second of three readings?
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 4525. We now move on to the first reading of resolutions, beginning with temporary resolution 4625.
A resolution to approve Lancaster's fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan and Statement of Objectives, and to authorize the mayor to submit this same to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Schoonover.
Councilmember Hoop.
This is first of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 4625. Temporary resolution 4725.
A resolution to increase receipts, appropriate from the unencumbered balance, and amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor and the Timber Top TIF Fund 3060. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Wolfinger and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Wolfinger.
That'll be your first of two readings.
First of two readings on temporary resolution 47-25. We'll now move on to the reading of ordinances, beginning with the third reading of temporary ordinance 23-25.
An ordinance determining that the establishment of the Lancaster New Community Authority will be conducive to the public safety, convenience, and welfare, and it's intended to result in the development of a new community and declaring the new community authority to be organized as a body politic and corporate defining the boundary of the new community district and declaring an emergency. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to make a motion that council pass and engross and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 23-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 2325. Discussion, Councilmember Hoop.
No, this is just to officially set up the NCA that Stephanie just spoke about.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on temporary ordinance 2325? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 2325 passes 9-0. There are no second readings of ordinances this evening, so we move on to the first readings. Temporary ordinance 23-25.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to acquire the permanent and temporary right-of-way necessary for the East 6th Avenue Bridge over Fetters Run replacement project. This is through Public Works Committee, Ms. Teener and Mr. Luchtenberg.
Councilmember Teener.
First of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary ordinance 25-25. Tabled legislation. Are we taking that off the table this evening? Okay. Accept a motion.
Hold on. So, that's me, right? Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council remove from the table temporary ordinance 21-25.
Star.
I don't think it's a star yet.
Yeah, I don't think it ever got amended to the
Oh,
star
it didn't get
piece.
amended?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
because it
this-
appears
there
a
was some
star on the agenda.
Yeah, I think there was some confusion,
Okay.
because we submitted a star piece, and so that got included on the agenda, but it
Okay.
never actually got the amendment.
Okay.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to remove from the table temporary ordinance 21-25. This is non-debatable motion. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
Yes.
The motion to remove from the table temporary ordinance 21-25 passes 9-0. Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to replace temporary ordinance 21-25 with 21-25 star as given to the clerk prior to tonight's meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to replace temporary ordinance 21-25 with temporary ordinance 21-25 star as presented to the clerk in writing before tonight's meeting. Any discussion?
None at this time.
Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Motion to amend temporary ordinance 21-25 and replace it with temporary ordinance 21-25 star passes 9-0. Councilmember Hoop.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 21-25 star.
Second.
A motion and second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 21-25 star. Any further discussion?
Not at this time.
Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
Mr. Wing?
Yes.
And Mr. Wolfinger?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 21-25 star passes 9-0. That concludes the reading of ordinances this evening. We now move on to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business before council this evening? Hearing none, we will now move to new business. And Councilmember Kreitz.
Yes, I just wanted to make everyone aware that the upcoming Law Committee meeting on May 23rd, I did extend an invitation to South Central Power because they will be on the on the agenda. And if anyone has questions, please, attend the meeting. That's at 9 o'clock at City Hall, 1897 Conference Room, which is on the second floor.
Thank you. Any further new business before council this evening? Auditor Nettles. I know that there's been some discussion about city debt and the total amount that there is. Of that debt that's listed in our financials, what is the responsibility of the city and what is known as conduit debt?
All right, so we have that, the state auditor requires to be in the city's financials report, but is conduit debt that the city has no way and any obligation for, and that's with the Lancaster Port Authority, the prepaid gas deal. There is approximately $300 million of that debt that does not belong to the city at all. The city has no obligation for that whatsoever.
Okay.
But I'm required to put it in my financials. The state auditor mandates it. But again, we're separate entities with separate EIN numbers, and we're not liable for that debt.
Thank you. I just wanted that out because we've had some inquiries about that, and just having that bit of information, full transparency is always helpful. So we appreciate that clarification.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there any further new business tonight before City Council? Hearing none, we'll now move on to the announcements of scheduled meetings.
Next regular sessions of council is May 19th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. here in City Council Chambers. And then again on June 9th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in City Council Chambers.
Special scheduled meetings.
We have no special scheduled meetings.
Regularly scheduled committee meetings.
I do have Public Works Committee, May 9th at 7:30 a.m. at City Hall, 1897 Conference Room. Water Pollution Control Service Meeting, May 19th at 7:30 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Room. Code Enforcement and Zoning Committee, May 22nd at 7:30 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room. Law Committee, May 23rd at 7:30 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room.
I think that.
Oh, and Safety Committee, June 6th at 8 a.m. City Hall, 1897 Conference Room.
And then I believe the law committee is actually at 9 a.m. That's what.
That's correct.
Oh, 9 a.m.? I'm sorry.
No issue.
I think it used to be at 7:30.
Thank you.
Move on to the reading of bills.
I have one for $144.81 for MNCO.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the bill.
Yeah, second.
We have a motion and a second to pay the bill. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We have no need for an executive session. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I would I'd like to make that motion, we adjourn.
Second?
A motion, a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 7 o'clock. This meeting of Lancaster City Council is adjourned. Please remember to sign your legislation this evening before you leave. Thank you.
Yeah.